Wait a minute, y'all.
Comment, like, and share, and comment. Comment, like, and share, and
The boy done switched up on you.
comment, like, and share, and comment. Comment, like, and share, and comment.
A lying to me. And I know you lying.
Comment, like, and share,
Period.
Your turn.
Wait a minute, y'all. You guys look. If this is your very first time to this channel, run on that subscribe for us. And after you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell beside the word subscribe so that you'll be notified each and every time that we upload one of these here videos. And then welcome to this great family. Now that you're part of us, there's some things that we do. And we do them every day to help us grow. Those things are comment like a share and go. Comment like a share and go. And comment like a share and don't forget to comment like a share. Hey, comment like a share. Don't forget to comment like a share. Comment like a share. Comment like a share. Don't forget to comment like a share. Okay, you guys check this out. We go ahead and pray. We're gonna get into the goodness. Here we go. Amen. How y'all doing today? You guys, today is a very special edition. It's one of our Black History Month editions, and we have got the Hotpot. Hubby is here to join us, honey. And baby, also over to the side. Little Ben's in the building, y'all. There go. Little Ben's in the building, y'all. There go. And let's give you that refreshing. Here. Okay, guys, like I said, today we're doing a Black History Month edition, and it's going to be on Dred Scott. I told you all to make sure that you all were researching some things so that you would know what we're talking about a little bit. Let's show you what we have on the menu today. Let's show you what we got on the menu today, honey. Let's see.
Oh yeah, she got some work. We got some stuff.
I need my hot sauce too.
Okay,
so right here, y'all, today, we have got, my bad. Okay, today we got our bok choy. Can you hold it down, please? We got our bok choy here. We got our fish balls here in the front. I don't even know what them is.
There's lotus root. That's
Yeah,
for me.
lotus root.
Yeah,
Here we have got buffalo barbecue chicken. No, marinated buffalo chicken. Over there you got
marinated teriyaki round steak.
Teriyaki marinated round steak. Here we've got sliced scallions. We've got this
gnocchi
seafood.
mushroom.
Gnocchi
mushrooms. Then we got shiitake mushrooms right here. Then we got broccoli on the back. I got a tofu, some sausages, jalapeno peppers,
and bean sprouts.
Of course.
That's what we got, y'all. That's what we got. The sauce, the package.
I'm getting it.
I'm gonna let y'all see what type of sauce it is that we're gonna be using today. And we're gonna get this baby crunk up and get it going. This is the package that we're using in the hot pot today right here. This is the sauce that we're making here.
It's pretty darn good, y'all.
It says a little sheep or something else right there. Okay, y'all, so
Pretty good.
let's get it going here. Get her all fired up and everything. Get her going here, honey. Oh.
Got this thing. So we're gonna start with.
Okay. All right, y'all, let's get this going.
Here you go.
And get some, that's backwards.
Well, shoot.
Hold on, y'all, here we go.
Show me grabs.
Let's get it up in here. Okay, I ain't finna use this. I do that every time.
I know, I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
There was some of this right here. Get us some tofu. Get us some bok choy down in here, honey. Got to have a bok choy. Okay.
Please.
Oh yeah, because it needs to go in
Yeah,
the face.
yeah, they need to go in there.
It's taking a long time to get to rock in there, y'all. Okay. We're gonna put up some of our fish balls in here. Definite light. All right, and then get a few jalapenos in there. Some scallions here. Ooh, don't fry the scallion there. Don't do that. Okay, a few more jalapenos. There's some bean sprouts. I'm dropping the mushrooms, honey.
It's alright.
Okay, get us some bean sprouts in here, y'all.
And let that go for me. These mushrooms don't take but a second.
bean sprouts here. Alright, like that. Now, let me get this here, honey. Get all this stuff here off of here. I don't want to melt my nails trying to do it. Okay, got all that up in there. Broccoli pieces. That all feels good.
Thank you.
Okay, I got one sausage right here.
Okay. Here you go.
Right, I gotta put a couple sausage midges up here. This is the round steak here, y'all. Get us some of that up here. Ooh, what about that? I guess I could have left up here, didn't I?
I'm just gonna drop stuff in there.
Okay.
Add flavor.
Some of the round steak up here. And this back here, of course, I'm telling you, is the buffalo marinated chicken. Ooh.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
I can take a couple more of these round steaks.
Okay.
A little more room here, y'all.
There you go.
Some more round steak here. And you said put a couple pieces here? Or not yet?
I was gonna cook it and drop it in there, but
Okay. Well, there we go, y'all. We got it all loaded up. We ain't got enough down here, though, huh? We always run. Can we get some more bok choy, please? Because we always run out of vegetables and then have to try to recook them during the video.
okay.
Yeah, put some more of that up in there. Get her nice and packed here, honey, while she cooking. We're gonna let her cook while she cooking, you hear me? We're gonna let her do what she do. Let her do what she do.
And the other mushroom, we didn't put the
The
mushrooms
white
in.
mushrooms.
We didn't put no mushrooms in yet.
No mushrooms in there. Let's put some mushrooms in there, y'all.
Alright.
Let's put some mushrooms in here so it can go in there and back it up.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. Some more. I like them seafood mushrooms. Inuki, or whatever you say, honey. Yeah, put some up in front. My sister Keisha loves to see us eat these mushrooms.
And that's good. She can try some when she come down here.
Put some, put it. There's a lot of them up in there, John. Yeah.
She top of this
Few
shit.
more. Mushrooms. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Thank you, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got us some stuff up in there, honey. We're gonna let her cook while she cooking. Come through jalapenos.
You might want to throw that out there.
And let her do what she doing, honey. All right. Now we got her doing what she doing, honey. You too? Some more broccoli.
Yeah, just a few pieces. You said we run out of veggies. Might as well get them in there while we can. What's enough?
Yeah.
There you go.
Is it down in there? Okay.
There you go.
All right, y'all. All right, here we go. Now, let's get to talking about Dred Scott for one moment.
Alright. So,
Did we already go ahead and pray?
yes, we did.
You
We
sure?
prayed before we started cooking.
You sure?
You know what your mind goes that far.
Okay, I hope so. Oh, yeah, we did. I remember that.
Yeah, do it again.
Okay, so you guys, like I said, today's episode is about Dred Scott. Before we get started, I need to let you know, we do not upload videos or lives on Facebook. We do not do that. Our real Facebook page is Lips Legion. Our Instagram account at 2, the number 2, LLIPS 2 Lips has been hacked, so I'm not sending you anything from that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The real Facebook page, like I said, is Lips Legion. There's a link in the description box below. I am sharing my videos over there as a video link, okay? Now, let's get to going, let's get to going.
Okay.
I'll start, okay? Okay, we're talking about Dred Scott, you guys. Dred Scott was an enslaved African-American man who, along with his wife, Harriet, unsuccessfully sued for their freedom for themselves and their 2 daughters in the Dred Scott versus Sanford case of 1857. Okay? Dred Scott was born into slavery in 1799 in Southampton County, Virginia. It was not clear whether Dred was his given name or a shortened form of Ethel Dred. In 1818, Dred was taken by Peter Blow and his family with their 5 other enslaved people to Alabama, where the family ran an unsuccessful farm in a location near Huntsville, Alabama. This site is now occupied by Oakwood University. The B.U.L.S gave up farming in 1830 and moved to St. Louis, Missouri, where they ran a boarding house. Dred Scott was sold to Dr. John Emerson, a surgeon serving for the United States Army, who planned to move to Rock Island, Illinois. After Scott learned of this, he attempted to run away. His decision to do so was spurred by a distaste he had developed for Emerson. Scott was temporarily successful in his escape, as he, much like many other runaway slaves during this time period, never tried to distance from his pursuers, but dodged around among his fellow slaves as long as possible. Eventually, he was captured in the Lucas swamps of Missouri and taken back. B.U.L.S died in 1832, and historians debate whether Scott was sold to Emerson before or after B.U.L.S death. Some believe that Scott was sold in 1831, while others point to a number of enslaved people in B.U.L.'s estate who were sold to Emerson after B.U.L.'s death, including one with a name as Sam, who may be the same person as Scott. As an Army officer, Emerson moved frequently, taking Scott with him to each new Army posting. In 1836, Emerson and Scott went to Fort Armstrong in the Free State of Illinois. In 1837, Emerson took Scott to Fort Snelling in what is now the state of Minnesota and was then in the Free Territory of Wisconsin. There, Scott married Harriet Robinson, a slave owned by Lawrence Taliaferro. The marriage was formalized in a civil ceremony presided over by Filatero, who was a justice of the peace. Since slave marriages since slave marriages had no legal sanction, supporters of Scott later noted that this ceremony was evidence that Scott was being treated as a free man, because slaves couldn't get married at this time, but he was married by a justice of a peace. So they were saying that he was already being treated as a free man. But Taliaferro transferred ownership of Harriet to Emerson, who treated the Scotts as his slaves. Dr. Emerson was transferred to Fort Jessup in Louisiana in 1837, leaving the Scott family behind at Fort Snelling and leaving them out, also called hiring them. Now, he was hiring them
Like
to other officers. Yes, he was hiring them for other officers, still being treated as a free man. In February 1838, Emerson met and married Eliza Irene Sanford in Louisiana, whereupon he sent for the Scotts to join him, okay? Only to be reassigned to Fort Snelling later that year. While on a steamboat headed north on the Mississippi River, north of Missouri, Harriet Scott gave birth to their first child, whom they named Eliza. They later had a daughter, Lizzie. They also had two sons, but those two sons never survived infancy. The Emersons and Scotts returned to Missouri, a slave state, in 1840. In 1842, Emerson left the Army. After he died in the Iowa Territory in 1843, his widow Irene inherited the estate. So now his wife has the estate, okay?
Emerson's wife.
Emerson's wife, okay? Now his wife has the estate, including the Scotts, Dred Scott, and his family. Okay. But 3 years after Emerson's death, she continued to lease out the Scotts as hired slaves. Now they're still working and making money. In 1846, Scott attempted to purchase himself and his family's freedom, offering $300, which in today's money is about $8,000 for the current value. Okay. Irene Emerson refused his offer. So Scott and his wife separately filed freedom suits to try to gain their freedom and that of their daughters. The case was later combined by the courts, okay?
Okay. All right, so after all that, all right. In 1847, having failed...
1846, ain't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. In 1846, after failing to purchase his freedom, Scott filed a freedom suit in the St. Louis Circuit Court. Missouri president dating to 1824 had held that slaves free through prolonged residence in a free state. in a free state or territory where the law provided for slaves to gain freedom under such conditions would remain free if returned to Missouri. The doctrine was known as once free, always free. And so Scott and his wife had resided there for 2 years in the free states and free territories. And his eldest daughter had been born on the Mississippi River between a free state and a free territory. Dred had listed as his only plaintiff on the case.
He was listed on the case as the only plaintiff by himself.
But his wife Harry had filed separately, and their cases were combined, like we said. She played a critical role pushing them to pursue freedom on behalf of their family. She was a frequent churchgoer in St. Louis, and her pastor connected the Scotts to their first lawyer. The Scotts children were around the age of 10 when the case was originally filed, and Scotts was worried that their daughters might be sold.
Okay, you can check on the food.
Okay.
The Scotts case were first heard by the Missouri Circuit Court. The first court upheld the precedent of once free, always free. So right now they're free because the courts have upheld it. Okay, that is because the Scotts had been held voluntarily for an extended period of their owner in a free territory, which provided for slaves to be freed under such conditions. Therefore, the court ruled that they had gained their freedom. Their owner appealed in 1850. The owner, the lady, she appealed it. In 1852, the Missouri Supreme Court overruled this decision on the basis that the state did not have to abide by free state laws, especially given to anti-slavery fervor of the time. It said that Scott should have filed for freedom in the Wisconsin territory. Scott ended up filing a freedom suit in the federal court in a case that he appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that African descendants who were not U.S. citizens, and had no standing to sue for freedom. It also ruled that the Missouri Compromise was unconstitutional. Okay, this was the last in the series of freedom suits from 1846 to 1857. They began in Missouri courts and were heard by lower federal district courts. The U.S. Supreme Court overturned the earlier precedents and established new limitations on African Americans. Okay, so now this is the thing at this time when this happened. It's a critical time where this has never been done before. No African American has sued for their freedom at this time right now, and they didn't after this from 1846 to 1857. Now the thing about it is that they had won in their state court. They had already won, but now they had overturned by the Supreme Court. The decision was, I think, 7-2. I'm going to tell you which two people were the two people that voted for them. Okay. Now, so with that being said, y'all. Now, like I said, this is in the 1840s. Right. The Emancipation Proclamation is still 20 years away. This is way, way, way before the time when African Americans are starting to try to fight. And now, if this decision is going to the Supreme Court, one or two things are going to happen. Either he's going to win, and he's going to set a great precedent even before the Emancipation Proclamation has ever been thought about being signed at this point. Okay? And he's going to set a precedent for black people that if they can get to a free state and stay there for a certain amount of time, they should be granted their freedom. But now if it goes against them, it's going to set them back for many, many years. And in this case, about 20.
But when you said that, but like you said, but his daughters were free, right?
Because they were born on free territory.
They just weren't.
But they were afraid that their daughters were going to be sold into slavery, because now, according to the Constitution, right, at this time, there's, according to the Constitution, if you're born in the United States, you're a United States citizen.
Right.
So they couldn't be slaves. So they were worried that if they didn't get their own freedom, that their daughters would be sold into slavery. Okay. Now I'm hungry, y'all. We're going to get back to it.
It makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Now their daughters, because they were born between free territory on the river, they are considered at this time to be free. Okay? The daughters are. So now they're concerned that their daughters are going to be sold into slavery, so therefore they're fighting to get their own freedom Okay, you want the rest of this over here?
I can take a piece of it too. I'll take a piece too.
They're fighting for their own freedom to make sure that they don't remain slaves so that their daughters can't be sold into slavery. That's what they're trying to do, y'all. Their daughters are already free according to the Constitution of the United States. Yeah, the tofu. Ooh,
Yeah.
Let me give me some of these fish balls, honey, because I don't want them square ones. I do not want those square ones, honey. Let's see about the bok choy. Ooh, the bok choy looks, oh, it's all done too, honey. Hey, glory.
We sat there for a minute though.
Yes, we did, honey. Okay, y'all.
And while you sit here and talking about it, it's just like you wouldn't imagine it had to be that much of a fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They just wanted their freedom.
I'm like, it ain't that hard. You're right. They were already free. The man was on the run for forever.
But see, if the lady, if she hadn't have fought it, if she had just let him go and let, some of that broccoli, and left them free, but see, she appealed it because she didn't want to lose her slaves. At that time, remember now, African Americans, black people were used in lieu of money. They meant money. To own slaves at that time meant money.
So that's basically your wealth.
That's your wealth. Your slaves and what they can do. Okay, y'all hear my plate is. That's what I'm working with. That there is okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You got the tofu going right there. But that's what I'm working with, y'all. Ooh, wee. Okay, honey, what you got going on?
That's fine. Look nice.
Well, you got more bean sprouts though.
Awesome. That's that good stuff.
They do look good.
That's that good stuff.
Also, y'all, we got my lips hot sauce. If you like your bottle of whipped top scripts right there blue, hit that link in right there. You can get your lips hot sauce.
And yours.
Okay, y'all got the hot sauce down here. I have got the sugar-free Thai chili sauce by G. Hughes, and I've also got the sweet chili sauce, sugar-free by G. Hughes, and I got my pink salt back here, and I got pepper. So don't do me about this salt, y'all. I went and got the salt. It wouldn't hurt me like y'all said. Y'all didn't say nothing yesterday, so therefore don't say nothing today. Hey, glory. I'm just playing, y'all. I know y'all be just trying to help me take care of me, but I did get the right salt. To give me the sodium taste without, the bad stuff in the salt to hurt me. So y'all can know that I am trying to do better and listen to what y'all got to say, honey. Oh, y'all, we got these broccoli pieces in here today. That's gonna be my first bite, this piece of broccoli. So as you can see, far above or before his time, Dred Scott is thinking forwardly. He's free thinking because he's been in a free territory and he was treated like a free man in free territory.
I didn't mess that up.
Good stuff. That's all right.
What's that?
Don't give me some of it.
No matter what.
Yeah, it should have been sprayed again. That's all right. Just give it here.
I'll wipe it out.
Give me that right there.
Did
you get some?
Yeah, I was gonna dunk them. I was really just trying to sear them so I could dunk them off the
That's all right. That's all right. It's all right.
Get out.
Okay.
I'll wipe it off in a minute. Oh, really, bro?
My bad. Okay, y'all, so he's free thinking ahead of time.
Okay.
My bad. Let me get me some of this sweet chili here, y'all. He's free thinking ahead of time because his daughters are considered to be born free because they were born between free territories and they went to a free territory where they went to. So they had been basically free under the United States Constitution and a free territory from the time that they were born. So they didn't want their kids. They felt like that since they had basically through where they were born, through where they were born and living in a free territory as long as they wanted to make sure that their children didn't get sold back into slavery. Oh, my bad. I thought you had it ready. My bad.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, come on. Let's go in here. We can get it in a minute.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, boo.
He's like, okay.
Sorry. So they're free thinking ahead of time to try to make sure that their children aren't treated as slaves as they have been. Okay? Y'all just do it. Look at that. There's chicken here. Y'all know this video gonna be a little long, so lock in with us, honey. So So y'all, they just trying to protect their children. They've been allowed to be married. It's spicy today.
I mean, if you're allowed to be married,
You're free.
that's it.
Because
They have if the rules state that the only 3 people can do it,
right.
and you allow them to do it,
Right.
Then under state and by God, you are a free man. You are
Right.
a free man.
Because at this time under state law, slaves cannot be married. But they were married by justice of the peace. That fish ball good. Good, y'all. So this whole time, y'all, and keep in mind now, he was a chef. He was a chef. So, like I said, y'all, this is 20 years before Lincoln does anything with the Emancipation Proclamation. Okay? You got some bean sprouts.
Ooh,
And mushroom.
Try that. You got one already?
You see, you know.
Yeah, try it. That's a little different. See? That's the difference. That's how
That kid what it's supposed to give back.
Well, go.
That right there kid what it's supposed to give. The round steak. Let me stay with him because you so like her. You is not gonna stay with them. That round steak, y'all. So, skipping ahead a little bit, I'm gonna tell you more about what happened. Who the Supreme Court judges were, who voted for him and who didn't, but we're even now. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit, and I'll go ahead and let you know that the Supreme Court did not rule in favor of Dred Scott. They didn't.
Oh, wow.
There was 9 of them. They voted 7-2 against Dred Scott, saying that anybody that was descendants of enslaved people, no matter how long they had been here, basically,
That's right.
that they are slaves, that they cannot have, be considered as
Free people.
and citizens of the United States.
That means everybody. So basically, nobody can be free.
But now at this time now, they are considered as citizens because they've already been given the right to vote. Okay? So things are moving, but they ain't got there yet. And this thing is far better today.
What?
That root,
I told you that it could.
that root, y'all, it's far better today because it's done.
You got to learn how to do it. You got to put it in there first. You know what I'm saying?
Let me eat a little more, y'all, and then we'll finish up reading it. Y'all, this is so good. You know, Rachel Small, she loves to see us eat this hot pot.
You know, I'm not been asking for it. Though. Every
She's
time
like,
you do, and your mom cooking is like that now. It ain't just up there for decoration. This is a good. I think that everybody has to have one.
yeah, they're good. It's good to have. So I hope that you already seen the vibe. He was he was far smarter than his time and what they thought he was. You know what I mean? He knew how to try to manipulate, or not necessarily manipulate, but make the law stand up for what it said in the Constitution of the United States. He lost though.
But not without a fight.
Not without a fight.
Not without a fight. Yeah,
And remember now, they won it first. They won it first.
Walk around for a few days. Oh yeah.
Like-
Yeah, I'm good. You free. He's free. And then them folks here be like, up, no, hold it, wait.
She appealed it.
Like, hold it, wait.
That round steak is excellent.
So excellent.
Always excellent.
So excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get this together.
Oh. Yeah, that's good. I gotta eat a little more before I can read anything. You hear me?
Right here. Them chilies in here, them chilies got to be in here just for taste because they never do get soft enough for me to eat. I be trying to eat something hot. It come with the package. It be in the what you call it?
Oh,
excuse me.
Hotpot thing.
You want some shrimp in there?
Put a few shrimp up in there, John. But we need some more meat up here on top, man. I'm gonna meat some more fish.
I'm gonna try this again. The right way.
Red salt food is so good.
Yes.
I'm still trying to eat, honey. That rabbit steak, no, it's good.
Got a couple pieces of these heads on in here.
I'm sorry.
Are you good?
That rabbit steak is bomb. Where's the chicken at?
Right here.
I thought I got another one. No, I tell you no. Chicken. And you know I need a couple more pieces of sausage. That's gonna be too big, ain't it? Yeah, a couple more pieces of sausage and then it'll be good. Make sure I got all this here around here sitting up on this good heat right, honey. Okay. Couple pieces of sausage, y'all. All right. And while that cooked, then hubby, give me a couple fish balls out.
I put two in there.
Oh, I got the square fish ball. I don't want her. I don't want her. I do not want that square fish ball. Nope, that's shrimp right there. What else I went out of there right quick? Why are you getting the rest of it ready? I'm hungry. You put some of the square steak down in there?
No. I was gonna take it from off of here. Once you cook it, you kind of dip it in there.
I guess you say, well, if we're gonna let it cook, you need to come up out of those.
Whatever you want to do. I'm waiting on you.
Oh, they shrimp? A little while longer. Just a little bit longer. Okay, I'm ready.
Chuck, I'm just saying.
Okay, so now y'all, they are in federal court, okay?
What you did?
You phone. Oh, you can read. I'm gonna eat.
Okay.
Now they in federal court now, y'all. They done filed it. The lady done got the appeal. They in federal court. I done told you he gonna lose, but we gonna go ahead and give you the background on it anyway.
Okay, and the Scott versus Emerson case was tried the Scott versus Emerson case was tried by the state in 1847 in the federal state courthouse in St. Louis. Scott's lawyer was originally Francis B. Murdoch, and later was Charles D. Drake. As more than a year elapsed from the time of the initial petition filing until the trial, Drake had moved away from St. Louis during that time. Samuel M. Bay tried the case in court. The verdict was against Scott as testimony that established his ownership by Mrs. Emerson was ruled to be hearsay. The judge called for a retrial, which was not held until January 1850. This time, direct evidence was introduced that Emerson owned Scott, and the jury ruled in favor of Scott's freedom. His family had a taste of freedom. Right. Irene Emerson appealed the verdict in 1852. In 1852, the Missouri Supreme Court struck down the lower court ruling, arguing that because of the free state's anti-slavery fervor, was encroaching on Missouri, the state no longer had to defer to the laws of free states. By this decision, the court overturned 28 years of precedent in Missouri. Justice Hamilton.
28 years of precedence now.
Justice Hamilton R. Gamble, who was later appointed the governor of Missouri, sharply disagreed with the majority decision. And wrote his dissenting opinion. In 1853, Scott again sued for his freedom, this time under federal law. Irene Emerson had moved to Massachusetts, and Scott has been transferred to Irene Emerson's brother, John F. Sanford, because Sanford was a citizen of New York, while Scott would be a citizen of Missouri. Because Sanford was a citizen of New York, while Scott would be a citizen of Missouri if he were free. The federal courts had diversity jurisdiction over the case. After losing again in federal court, the Scots appealed to the United States Supreme Court in Dred versus Sanford.
Let's study fighting, y'all.
I mean, still going. On March 6, 1857, Chief Justice Roger B. Taney delivered the majority opinion.
Now, this it here now. It's at the big Supreme Court with the 9 Supreme judges.
Taney ruled with 3 major issues there. Number 1, any person descending from African Americans, whether a slave or free, is not a citizen of the United States according to the U.S. Constitution. Number 2, the Ordinance of 1787 could not confer either freedom or citizenship within the Northwest Territory to non-white individuals. And number 3, the provisions the provisions of the Act of 1820, known as the Missouri Compromise, were voided as a legislative act since the act exceeded the powers of Congress, and insofar as to be attempted to elude slavery and impart freedom and citizenship to a non-white persons of the northern. What? It's like, okay, basically, if you ain't
white,
you a slave. Period.
Period.
That's all he said. He's like, okay.
Cause you wasn't him. So we when we started this thing. So if you claim him as a slave, even though you didn't come in by your own free will, you came in because they came and shipped you up and stole you.
You black, you're a slave. Period.
Period. That's what they say.
Straight up. If you was born here and you black, you're a slave. Period. If they said you was free and you black, you're a slave.
Even though the Constitution says if you're born in American soil, you are an American.
It don't matter what
they say if you're a descendant of somebody who wasn't born in American soil, it's a wrap.
You're a slave. Period.
All right. So now let me tell you how this went. Okay. Oh. Okay, so in a landmark case, the United States Supreme Court decided 7-2 against Scott, finding that neither he nor any other person of African ancestry could claim citizenship in the United States, and therefore Scott could not bring suit in federal court. So what they said was, if you were black, you didn't have the right to sue Dred because you were not a citizen of the United States. Okay? They say, moreover, Scott temporarily resided outside Missouri, did not bring about his emancipation under the Missouri Compromise, as the court ruled this to have been unconstitutional, and it was improperly derived and it would improperly deprive Scott's owner of his legal property. I'm not gonna give Dred Scott his citizenship and make him free because that's going to deprive his owner of his property.
You're not gonna steal from
not a person. They don't care about making Dred Scott whole and to be a person. What they care about is depriving his owner of his property. Lord have mercy.
That's just what it was. Why did they make such a precedent in the okay, keep going.
Okay. While Chief Justice Roger B. Taney had hoped to settle issues related to slavery and constitutional authority by this decision, it arose public outrage, deepened sectional tension between the northern and southern states, and hastened the eventual explosion of their differences in the American Civil War. This is prior to the Civil War now. President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation was in 1863. And the post-Civil War Reconstruction Amendment, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, nullified this decision against Dred Scott. The Scotts were manumitted by a private arrangement in May 1857. Dred Scott died of tuberculosis a year later. So when he finally won a year later, he got up out of here. Okay? Prelude to the Emancipation Proclamation. The newspaper coverage of the court ruling and the 10-year legal battle raised awareness of slavery in non-slave states. The arrangement for freedoms were later used by the U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. The words of the decision built popular opinion and voter sentiment for the Emancipation Proclamation and the 3 constitutional amendments ratified shortly after the Civil War. So they fought the Civil War now, and the North won. But how they won was enlisting African American soldiers to help them win. And so what they said was, if you fight for your freedom, we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
That's what the Civil War was about. And the North could not win it against the South without enlisting black soldiers. So what they said is that if you want your freedom, pick up your guns and fight. Okay?
And they
So the 13th and 14th and 15th Amendments abolishing slavery, granting former slaves citizenship. Okay? That's what the Emancipation Proclamation done. And conferring citizenship to anyone born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, excluding those subject to a foreign power, such as children or foreign ambassadors. Okay? So, Dred Scott was a slave in Missouri from 1833 to 1843. He resided in Illinois, a free state, and in the Louisiana Territory, where slavery was forbidden by the Missouri Compromise of 1820. After returning to Missouri, Scott filed a suit in Missouri court for his freedom, claiming that his residence in free territory made him a free man. After losing, Scott brought a new civil suit in federal court. Scott's master maintained the no Negro or descendant of slaves could be a citizen in the sense of Article 3 of the Constitution. Okay.
He's still fighting.
He's still fighting. Okay, the conclusion. It was 7-2 decision for Sanford against Dred. Majority opinions by Robert B. Taney. Okay. The held portions of the Missouri Compromise unconstitutional in violation of the 5th Amendment, treating Scott as property and not a person. Oh, glory. Let me read that again. 7-2 decision for Sanford. Majority opinion by Robert B. Taney. Held portions of the Missouri Compromise unconstitutional in violation of the 5th Amendment, treating Scott as property, not as a person. Okay, so the judges were against the 7 that went against Scott were Campbell, Greer, Daniel, Wayne, and Taney. Nelson and Cartrone. So Campbell, Greer, Nelson, Daniel, Cartrone, Wayne, and Taney all voted against. The 2 that voted for were McLean and Curtis. The majority held that a Negro whose ancestors were imported into the United States and sold as slaves, whether enslaved or free, could not be an American citizen and therefore did not have standing to sue in federal court. Because the court lacked jurisdiction, Taney dismissed the case on procedural grounds. Taney further held that the Missouri Compromise of 1820 was unconstitutional, y'all. That's just what he did. That's just what he did. It's just what he did. In dissent, Benjamin Robin Curtis criticized Taney for addressing the claim's substance after finding the court lacked jurisdiction. He pointed out that invalidating the Missouri Compromise was not necessary to resolve the case, and cast doubt on Taney's position that the founders categorically opposed anti-slavery laws. Okay? Now, John McLean echoed Curtis, finding the majority improperly reviewed the claim's substance when its holdings should have been limited to procedure. He also argued that men of African descent could be citizens because they already had the right to vote in 5 states.
Thank you.
So, this was a monumental case. This was the first time, basically, that a case for African Americans is going into, went as far as the Supreme Court trying to get their freedom. You want to talk? Trying to get their freedom, y'all. And Dred Scott did this. Dred Scott is who did. You want some more meat? Oh, you got all the shrimp. I'm taking blue. So Dred Scott did this, y'all. He was just trying to get it together. I want some of the new mushrooms you put in here. Don't do me.
I just had a minute.
I told you I was hungry today.
I really did.
I was hungry today, honey. So that's who Dred Scott is, and that's what he done. All on the basis of trying to make sure that his family, his kids, could not be sold into slavery. They fought for years and years and years, y'all. Years and years and years. They fought, trying to secure and make sure that they could keep their freedom.
But see, the thing of it is, it's like, okay, what would make perfect sense is, okay, their kids were born here. They should.
But the Emancipation Proclamation had not been signed yet, so the whole born here, you're a citizen here, hadn't been put into effect at the time. They were trying to use the Missouri Compromise, say that his children were born between free territories, and once they settled off of the water, they were born on the water between 2 territories, right. One a slave territory, one a free territory.
Yeah.
Okay, where slavery was abolished.
Right.
So what they're saying that when they settled on land in the United States, their children settled in a non-slavery territory.
Right. So they should have been non-slaves.
Right. In 1820, they should have been non-slaves. And see, while as long as they were there in the free part, the wife and he were not worried about it because they were in a free state. But when they learned that they were going to go back to a slave state, that's when all the trouble. So that's what it's really about, y'all. And keep in mind that this was a prelude. This was before the Emancipation Proclamation because it didn't come to 1863. But this particular case right here being won and then being taken away and then being won again at a lower Supreme Court and then being taken to the highest Supreme Court and shot down and lost again. The man lost his freedom again and all of that and everything. It was used for President Lincoln.
It's like everything was just being set in motion.
Yeah, everything that he done was setting things. Okay, this is inside the frame. Everything that he done was setting things up for President Lincoln to use what he went through for years to get the Emancipation Proclamation done and giving all former slaves their freedom. So now you see how important Dred Scott was to this situation.
He just said the man. He
What a man! What a man! What a man! What a man! Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
He said a major precedent. That's
He
how
did.
it was. But see, even for him to be acknowledged, that with that at that point in time, that
By a U.S. president,
yeah,
using
look,
his case
hey,
to free
look,
enslaved
hey,
people.
Y'all already said he was free right here now. Y'all already said it. Now you gonna sit back, take it back. And I'm like, all right. Now you said he's free, but he is, but he ain't, but he is, but he ain't. Want y'all make up y'all mind? Just
And keep in mind, up until this point, y'all, the first 16 presidents of the United States were all slave owners.
Abraham Lincoln was too.
I know it.
Yeah, but
That's what I'm saying.
everybody sit back there and was like, look, hey.
So now keep in mind now, this Dred Scott case was used as precedent for the Emancipation Proclamation that made us all free today. Hey, glory, hallelujah. Mm-hmm. So maybe y'all, I didn't know me because I was hungry. I hope that we read and got the words out right to you for you to understand how it happened and why it was so important.
Y'all have any more questions? Look it up.
Yeah, research it.
You are. We only did our own little bit, and there's so much more.
It's sure, yeah.
There's so much more detail. Ooh. Just forget that it's real. Take the time to sit back here and not just Dred Scott. You know what I'm saying? That means there are other cases I mean,
we've got 3 more stories we're gonna do this month for Black History. But this one here, to me, was very important for me to bring up and have you to research and talk to your children about. Because this man basically said, okay, I was born a slave. That's just what I am. But once you have taken me to a free territory, I got a taste of it. I know what freedom feels and tastes like. And
the thing of it is, they treated the man like he was free.
they treated him like he was free.
No, look. This girl might have owned me. Wait a minute. You might have owned me.
Emerson.
Yeah, but I went out to work. I got a job. I'm going to work on so and so farm. I need to bring on my own change. Yeah, I'm kind of.
You treated me like a free man.
You treated me like I'm a free man.
You married me.
You let me get married. I'm sitting here with my wife. I got kids and things. I was saying, you want to up and move?
And now I'm gonna be a slave
now
again.
I'm a slave again. Hold up, bro. Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute, bro.
Mm-hmm. Dress out.
Say, hold up. This ain't right, bro. There's something ain't right with this.
Dress out. Okay, not honey.
And then for them to ask you to sit back and say, okay, look, I'm gonna sue you. He sued. He took him to court. It took a higher court to say, look, you couldn't. It wasn't no right for you to sue anyway because you are a slave. You have no right to sue.
Right.
But the first court allowed you to do it.
Right.
That set a precedent.
They did.
That started the fight. That let everything go. So you're acknowledging the fact that I am a man. Then you're gonna take it away and give it back to me. You can't do that. They sit back there and battle, and like if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for one man to sit back and decide, look, I'm gonna fight for this no matter what.
These ideals of Dred Scott were precedent for starting the American Civil War. But the North said, no, we're not going to treat people this way. They felt like that the Constitution from the Founding Fathers was for us to be an anti-slavery nation. That's what they wanted. So the North said, we're going to come down to the South and kick your butt. Because now remember that the South had desegregated themselves from the North and gave themselves the Confederate States of America. That's where that Confederate flag comes from, if you didn't know that.
I was like, okay, cool. That what y'all want to do? Y'all think y'all want to do that?
But we got you.
But see, the thing of it is that you can do that. But once we enlisted,
in the Army.
Once you sit back and enlist, all the people don't sit back and fight, not only for our freedoms, but because our freedom was part of it, but that wasn't the whole entire reason for the Civil War. But if you take away their help,
Lincoln wasn't going to be the first president to lose half of the United States.
Thank you.
That's what it was.
That's what it is. And like, look, hey, bro, okay, cool.
You got to come back on the phone.
All right, come on here. I'm gonna let all those folks who you enslaved and
get your in.
And ain't you do it.
And for that reason,
and y'all can make it up here, bro. Y'all free. Put on them boots. Go fight for it. We straight.
We straight.
We straight. That's all we need. We need y'all help to help us get you out there. That's all I'm saying. And we ran up there. We came back down here.
But now keep in mind now. Keep in mind now. The Civil War was about the South breaking off from the North and making themselves the Confederate States of America. They had broke off the territory and said, okay, we're not going to go along with what you said up there.
They did that on their own.
We ain't doing that.
They did that on their own.
Right. That's why the South is notoriously known for Jim Crow and stuff like that, because of the fact that the South always was a part of the nation that wanted to enslave African Americans.
But see, the thing of it is that in the South, because of the rice crops and the cotton and it's just been more ingrained.
They were lazy. They weren't working
It
themselves.
was more ingrained, like, and this is it. But we had with the culture. It grew. It progressed as a culture that way. Instead of becoming more refined or becoming up to date. It was just a little.
They want to hold on to their power.
They wanted to hold on to it. Man, people up north still had their slaves too, but they were still getting married. They were, you know what I'm saying? They were more proactive. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's how Harlem and the whole Renaissance and stuff started. Cause you have to understand that they're progressive. That's the word. Progressive. It's just.
So anyway, yeah, that's what happened.
Living, honey. They tried.
They tried.
They tried.
And Lincoln said, look here. Look here, Negroes. They don't want to treat you right down there, and we can't win without you. So you come on and help us kick butt, and I got you.
You make it. All you gotta do is make crack this line right here. We got you, bro.
We got you.
We got you. We got you covered. So they didn't even have to make the cross the line. Half the time you sit back there and say, if you go down there and hit one good farm up, and they everybody running like, look, hey, bro, I roll with you. Bump this right here. I roll with you. Just go ahead.
This Hotpot was absolutely delicious, and we hope that you guys have enjoyed the story of Dred Scott because it was so important to Americans, it's African Americans, because I keep in mind that there were white slaves as well. There were white slaves as well, y'all.
They were,
but this is about the African Americans gaining their freedom. They had to pick up the guns and fight with President Lincoln. And then that's the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments were born. Okay? So those were to solidify and make the rights be constitutional and laws by the federal government for African Americans to be and remain free. Now that didn't make the fight be the end, because they fought for many, many years to try to even find loopholes in that. That's where Jim Crow came from, because some idiots in the Supreme Court always found a way to say that, you know, woo, you got that, those are state things, because that's what happened. Once the African Americans were given freedom, they went back and said that is a...
No, it was a national law.
No,
they created a national law.
No, that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. Once the Emancipation Proclamation gave freedom to the African American, all enslaved people, what happened is the Supreme Court decided that, okay, yes, under the Emancipation Proclamation, they are free. However, what you can do is, that's where the whole free but separate, which was giving the southern states the right to do segregation. When that all the federal government said was separate but free is acceptable.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you said it was for each state to enforce how they wanted to.
Yeah,
the
state had to enforce it.
Right.
It was a federal law, but the state had to enforce it.
The way that, and that each state chose
how they wanted to enforce it.
Yep.
So that's how the southern states, that's how Jim Crow was born.
They sit back and say, look, okay, y'all free? Go ahead. Be free if you want to be free. Go ahead, be free.
But you can't come into our stores. You can't eat in our diners.
Walk around that corner if you want. Hey, walk off my land if you want to. It ain't going to stop me from sitting back and listening to you as soon as you walk off my land because you did something I got you set up like that. Now, I can threaten your life.
So what they done in the South was said, we will pay you for, sharecropping and stuff like that. We'll pay you to still do the same job that you're doing for free. But I'm going to tax you $100 a year, which is impossible for you to obtain. Long as you work for me, I'll take care of your family as a sharecropping situation. But you owe me $100 a year.
And if you leave, you still owe me this money. So if you leave, I can call the cops on you. I can still do because you owe me this. Now I'm around you up. I can sit back. You'll be locking for the rest of your life. Either way, you're still a slave. Now you're an indentured servant.
Exactly. So now, so that's what I'm saying. For years and years and years, y'all, they fought this thing until they just couldn't fight it no more. Supreme Court had to continually knock things down in order for all enslaved and indentured servants to become free and be true and whole citizens of the United States of America, okay? All that started with Dred Scott, okay? So, we may have got a few things out of place. We may have got a few things wrong. If we did, try to say head, not a heart, because we definitely don't want to be misinforming you about what's going on. We're trying to bring light to you to understand that Dred Scott, way before his time, 20 years almost before the Emancipation Proclamation even came through to ratify slavery or to get rid of slavery, this man was already, had his boots on, baby. He already had his boots on running and trying to do it on his own. He took the backs of the entire slavery and indentured servant institution on his back and tried to make it different. So go and check out Dred Scott. Go and check it out. Get more in detail. If we got something wrong, let us know about it in the comments and whatever. We'll discuss it however we can. Because you can always teach us something as we're trying to enlighten you, okay? Exactly. So we appreciate you guys so much for being here. And we hope that you guys have enjoyed. We truly hope you have enjoyed. To all our newly Jan, thank you guys so much for being here. We truly appreciate each and every one of you because you did not have to be here. You could have chosen to be with us in the world, but you chose to be right here with us. And we love you for it. Mwah. To all our existing Legion, hey, round and around we go, hey, round and around we go. We love you guys so much. And we're going to see you guys next time, okay? Oh, wait a minute, y'all.
You guys look.
Always remember that there's always one way home.
All you should have to do is get there.
So get there, people. Get there. We love you all.
And we're gonna see you guys next time.
And if you're not gonna watch me next time, you have lied to me. And I know you lied. Period. Bye bye. Okay, y'all. Hot Pot was good. I hope you enjoyed. Rachel Smiles, we love you. We love you. We love you. We love each and every one of you. We really do. Thank you again for all the thank you again for all the participation that you guys done for our child's birthday. We love y'all for that. We love y'all for that. We love you for that. We love you for that. Okay. We just love you all the way around. Okay. We love y'all for being who you are. We love you. Go and check out whatever it is that you need to check out Dred Scott, because believe it or not, this was the start of all of us being free as African American individuals. Like I said, we may have got a few things wrong.
Let us know. Please let us know.
Let us know in the comments. We can talk about it. We can talk about it. We ain't gonna jack about it. Now, we ain't gonna jack about it. But we can talk about it, okay? We love y'all so much. Remember, this is to enlighten you so you can enlighten your children. So fact search what we doing. Because that ain't doing nothing but helping you learn Black history even more, okay? So we love you guys so much. We're going to see you guys next time, okay? Don't forget what we told you about LIPS Legion, the Facebook page. We do not upload videos over there. We don't upload links to LIPS. Instagram has been hacked. Okay. We love y'all. Oh, don't forget, y'all, the new merch. Things right there. Designs. We're going to show them to you tomorrow.
Look out.
I need something else to drink. I take my medicine. This thing is hurting the hell out of me.
You okay?
I need to get out of here. And quickly at that.